on the station you count on for local news that matters. This is KARK4 News at 10 in high definition.
Pulled up right behind the officer's car, and then the passenger got out of the car and ran around to the side. That's when we heard the shots.
Tonight, a man is dead and a Little Rock police officer is on paid administrative leave after authorities say she was forced to shoot and kill a man during a brazen robbery attempt. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight on KRK. I'm Shannon Miller. For the first time tonight, we are hearing from a witness who saw a group of men try to rob that police officer, which ended in an officer-involved shooting. That shootout happened in a shopping center parking lot near the intersection of Rodney Parham and Reservoir Road just before 8 o'clock last night. Authorities say the officer was working a security detail and was off duty but in uniform. That is when 3 people tried to rob the officer. We know there was an exchange of gunfire between the officer and the suspect who was killed. KRK's Mitch McCoy has been covering this story since it broke last night. He's tracking down new details tonight, though. And Mitch, what are we hearing at this hour?
Shannon, this story just continues to unfold. Multiple sources tell me the police officer was carrying money bags out of the Arkansas Revenue Office where she does security to her unmarked car. Within a minute after leaving the business, a shootout in a busy parking lot.
It was intense. It's definitely intense.
Nearly 24 hours after a shootout, littered glass is all that's left.
It was extremely scary at first. I did freeze.
And Tanisha Lambs couldn't believe what she witnessed Friday night.
We saw the silver SUV pull up to the black car.
Little Rock police officials say an off-duty officer in full uniform was the victim of an attempted robbery.
Pulled up right behind the officer's car, and then the passenger got out of the car and ran around to the side. That's when we heard the shots.
They knew it was a cop they were robbing. That's, that's really brave and just absolutely ridiculous.
Little Rock Police Chief Kenton Buckner says this was a brazen crime.
There was one individual, there was an exchange of gunfire with the officer, and then there are 2 persons of interest that we're talking to right now. It's unsure if they were involved in the incident.
There were customers inside a grocery store. The owner says they went into lockdown.
We heard 4 to 5 gunshots, and then we suddenly run to the door and close the door.
It makes me honestly extremely scared.
And Tanisha says after the shootout, a security guard was hugging the police officer.
She got out and she ran over to the officer, the female officer that shot the individual, and the officer was crying.
The police officer's name has not been released. She was not injured. The suspect's name has not been released either. A Little Rock police spokesperson says more details regarding the officer-involved shooting will be released on Monday. Shannon, it's worth noting in 1993, a Little Rock police officer was shot and killed while working off-duty security and carrying money bags. So this just describes how close of a call it was last night.
Back a familiar night, Mitch. Thanks for that. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story as new details come through. You can find the latest on air and on our website, arkansasmatters.com.